Hello everyone, today will be the third part about how I create a real-time strategy. On Unity, I'll talk about the plans, what's been implemented, and more. In short, another promotional video, you get it. If anyone hasn't seen the previous video, in short, it's an RTS. In the spirit of classic strategies, a kind of symbiosis of Stickman Legacy and Age of Mythology called World of Stickman. I started developing the game about 3 years ago, created a Steam page last December, and began working intensively on the game in February of this year. Initially, I planned to release the game in early access at the end of summer or the beginning of September, but as often happens with developers, I postponed the release date to next year. In general, I originally had this plan for the game. Early access, then add an online mode, add several new races and a level editor. There were several reasons for the postponement. Firstly, Age of Mythology Retold was released at that time. Essentially, it's the game that inspired me to create my own game. I immediately bought it and started playing it day and night, forgetting about my own game and its release. Just kidding. I postponed the release because, in the wake of the Mythology remaster, I think the number of people wanting to buy my game has significantly decreased. Secondly, it's the insufficient number of wishlists. At the time of recording this video, the number was 7,000, which was gathered over 6 months of active promotion. But that's not enough for a good start. If you listen to the advice of other developers, it's advisable to gather at least 10,000, 20,000, which is what I will aim for, as there's no real rush. Thirdly, if I were to release the game now, it would be very raw, because as I understand, this is a very short development period for such a relatively large game. And judging by the discussions on Steam and comments on YouTube, there's still a lot that needs to be improved. Also, one of the channel's subscribers did a significant amount of testing work and listed many bugs and recommendations, which need to be addressed in the near future, for which I am very grateful to him. Also, due to numerous requests, well, a couple of times I was asked to make a build for Linux. Previously, I had no experience working with Linux, and I didn't understand how difficult it might be. After all, in my view, it's an operating system that not everyone can figure out and is intended for very advanced PC users. And these users, in my opinion, look exactly like this. In reality, it turned out to be much simpler. I downloaded the installation archive, put it on a flash drive and installed it. Then I installed Unity and everything almost immediately built. The only issues were with the video in the game. Under Linux, Unity does not support formats like MP4, MOV and others. There were also issues with 3D model formats like Blend due to Blender version incompatibility. And so, after a couple of days, I had a demo version build which I uploaded to Steam. Therefore, anyone interested can try it out. After publishing, I made a post about this on the relevant Reddit threads and wrote to the owner of the Linux Game Consortium website, which is dedicated to Linux games. I also decided to make a demo for Mac OS, so now Mac owners can play it, and it was much easier to do than for Linux. Working on a single project is tiring, especially when its development stretches over a year. Therefore, I decided to start preliminary work on a new part of the game, so to speak, on a sequel, or rather, on two. It will be the same world of Stigma but in a different setting. The first game will be about World War II, and the second will feature unit base upgrades through eras, similar to what was in Empire Edge and Rise of Nation. Since the modeler completed all the necessary models for the current game, we gradually started creating models for the new game. In the end, there were 7 eras with an average of 10 buildings for each, from the primitive era to the future. I don't know when this game will see the light of day, but definitely not before 2025. Because I still need to complete the main game I'm currently working on, and for which I started this YouTube channel. I also want to thank everyone who subscribed to the channel and watches my videos, because as of today, there are already 1,253 people who have subscribed to me in the 7 months since I started the channel. Among them is, by the way, the popular blogger Yulik. Maybe he didn't even notice that he subscribed to me, and after this video, he will definitely unsubscribe. Also, I got approved for monetization on YouTube, and I earned my first 80 cents from the channel. You can congratulate me on that. So, the game is still in development, and you could say is about 50-60% complete, but now more emphasis is being placed on promotion. After all, even if the game turns out to be interesting, what's the point if no one knows about it and consequently doesn't buy or play it? As I mentioned earlier, the game has gained 7,000 wishlists, the majority of which came from paid advertising on Twitter, now X. A small portion, about 1/10, came from the Next Fest event in Steam held in the spring. some from the posts I make on Reddit. I also attended a game development conference for the first time in my life, which took place in St. Petersburg. But it played a minor role in promotion. By the way, you can check out this trip. There's a video on my channel. You can find the game itself via the link in the description. If you have any questions, feel free to write them here or join my Telegram channel. That's all for now. Thank you all for your attention and see you next time.